again.
Coach, 67 threes given up in the past 3 games. Is it more of a lack of understanding or a lack of commitment to defensive philosophy?
Tonight we gave up 2 threes that were scheme related. Ball went to Mason Plumlee. He made 2 really good passes back to open min in the slot. From there, it was 2 things. Our inability to guard the ball. We got broken down, sucked in our defense, kicked it out, and we play the ball too soft. I mean, we don't close all the way. We're not into people. We let people shoot the ball in rhythm. Right now, to be honest, like tonight, we just did not play with nearly enough defensive commitment and pride. Especially coming off the last 2 games, I thought we would be revved up a little. We were not at all. First 3 quarters, we give up over 30 in every quarter. And it was more than the threes. I mean, we were just getting rocked off the dribble. When our 5s came to help, nobody blocked out. I mean, we just didn't compete nearly as hard as they did. They deserved to win the game. They played harder, and we're relying on our offense. So we score 130 in Dallas and lose. And tonight we have a bad shooting night in the second half especially. And when we do that right now, we can't win. Like, we have to make our shots because we have no margin for error because we will not guard.
Speaking of those shots, 35 attempted threes. Is that too many to your liking?
Well, so early in the year, you guys thought we weren't shooting enough of them. And then when we're making them, you like the fact that we're shooting them. And then when you don't go in, there's too many. That's all a bunch of BS. That's media garbage right there, quite honestly. Like, we all like them when they go in. 35 is not too many. You got to make them. But that's not the problem in the game. You're going to have nights where you don't shoot it well. You've got to be able to lean on your defense, and we can't. I mean, we just can't lean on our defense at all right now, and that's a problem. And that, like I said after the last game, that's something all of us, me included, have got to own, and we've got to do a better job. We made some pick and roll adjustments tonight. I thought they helped us. I thought our pick and roll defense was better. I didn't think we gave up the number of threes in pick and rolls that we have the last 2 games, but then it was just one-on-one and going under guys we shouldn't have been going under on handoffs, and not closing hard enough, not contesting shots, a lot of very simple fundamental things.
Not along those lines, Coach, I guess the frustrating thing, especially in the 4th quarter, after you had that Ingram free to cut it to single digits going to the 4th, you just never could get it under 7 points where you could give yourself a chance to make a run. It never got to be a 2-possession game.
No, but again, I mean, we can think about missed shots, missed opportunities, some turnovers, all of that, and we'd be going down the wrong street. We did not defend well enough or play hard enough at the defensive end to deserve to win. We just didn't. That team played harder than we did, and they deserved to win the game.
Kyra Lewis Jr. did play well, though, as far as getting hands on there. He had 4 steals tonight and was pretty active on that side of the floor.
He's very, very good off the ball, as I said to you before. He's got to get a lot better on the ball. Like, he's getting blown by guys, in my opinion. He shouldn't be getting blown by. But he is really active off the ball. He's good on rotations. He's got great anticipation. He's a 19-year-old rookie. Like, he needs to get better on the ball defensively, but I ain't laying this on him. I mean, he's a 19-year-old rookie. I like his performance. I'm not laying this on anybody. I don't think I've come in here all year, 15 losses now. I don't think I've come in here all year and pointed a finger at anyone other than myself. But defensively as a group, it's not enough. We're not going after this hard enough.
Hey Stan, Christian Clark here. Brandon had 12 and 4 in the first quarter. It seemed like you really controlled the game. It looked a little bit different in the middle 2 quarters. What did you just feel like the difference was? I mean, why do you think? I mean, maybe there are times when he's not sustaining, that level of play.
I thought in the second and third quarters he looked, really for the rest of the game, even though he came back a little in the fourth. I thought in the second and third quarters he looked tired. He didn't have great energy, in my opinion. So, And you know, he's not a guy that we create a lot of shots for. He has to create them himself. Takes a lot of energy. And I just think he probably played him too many minutes early in the game. You know, I've done that a couple of times. He gets upset like in that first quarter in Utah when you take him out when he's got it going. But I think when I leave him in like I did today, even though he didn't go the whole quarter, he went most of it. I think we run the tank to empty a little bit, and then it's hard to get it back. And I think I've got to stay more. I've got to stay more disciplined in my rotation, even if he's got it rolling, and it's a conversation he and I have to have.
Yes, Stan. We've heard you talk since the start of training camp about the amount of time you guys are putting in to establish that defensive identity, and it just hasn't happened.
Well, Will, wait a minute now. We're not putting any time in now. We did in training camp. We're not. There's no time to put it. So we're not even talking about offense. We're watching film on defense. We're doing our walkthroughs on defense. We did some defensive work yesterday, but the time is so minimal that it's not even fair to say we're putting time in on it and it's not paying off. We're not putting time in on it. We're not. I mean, there's just not enough time. This is, it's a frustrating thing for me, but we're not getting the repetition and the drilling and the stuff that we need to do. So what we need is guys to be able to, I think our guys have enough knowledge of what we're doing. We need guys who can watch film and learn and bring it to the floor. And I think this is the first time I've really said this year, and I don't know if this means it comes on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I think now we have to take a look at who we're playing for how many minutes in what rotation and figure out if there's a way that we can play better defense. But I'm being honest with you, I don't know how many of our guys really have a defensive mentality. It's not like, well, these guys are offensive players, but you got these guys who have a great defensive mentality. I'm not so sure on that. So that's the tough part.
Hey, Stan, to kind of follow up on that, when you mention the rotation, do you mean starting lineups? Do you mean just the way you're playing guys, whether it's Brandon coming out earlier or how you adjust those second unit minutes? Can you just go a little bit more into that, please?
Well, I think it's who you play and when you play them. So it's that simple. And I'm not getting into specifics, Andrew. I'm not trying to hide anything. It's just we haven't talked about it. I mean, we've been playing, obviously, the guys we talk about it going into games. And we've been playing this group of guys. And I think tomorrow as a staff, we've got to talk. And I'm not saying we will make changes either. I mean, because you're not winning doesn't mean you're not playing the guys that give you the best chance. It's just, but we've got to talk about it. I don't think we can just, with no thought, put the same guys out there.
Hey Stan, it's Scott, Noel.com. You've talked about resiliency a lot this year and how you think this team is pretty resilient and they haven't kind of broken. Are you at all worried about that after going through another stretch like this? Or do you still feel pretty confident about this group's kind of makeup to get past another lull like this?
I have great confidence in our group's character. What I think we have to show and bring to the team, to the court every night, is we've got to bring a much higher level of toughness and competitiveness and a defensive mentality. The disturbing thing has been the other disturbing thing. Has been there's such a difference in that area, defensively, competitiveness, energy, all of that, at home and on the road. In a year where it's not like the crowd wore you down or anything, if you look, there's a little over a 10-point difference on the net rating per 100 possessions between home and road. So it's not like we don't have the ability to play. One of the things I said to him afterwards that's frustrating but also hopeful is there's teams out there that just don't have enough talent to expect to win consistently, and that's not our case. And I think we've got high character guys. But there has to be a competitive character. So high character to me, what I'm talking about is these guys are professional as hell. We haven't as much as had one guy late for a walkthrough of practice, anything else by 1 minute. They get all of their work done, their lifting, their extra shooting, all of that. They do everything asked at practice every day. There's no BS, there's no finger pointing, there's no excuse making, there's no gripe in any of that. These are professional young guys who come to work every day and listen and try to do things. So on those areas, we're really high character. The question on us right now is competitive character. Like, are we going to fight? Are we going, we saw Billy go out and take 2 charges. But, we saw Brandon take a charge. It was great. How much of that are we going to do? Are we going to dive on the floor? Are we going to get into people and pressure? Are we going to, every time, sprint back? Are we going to, when our center goes to help, put a body and block somebody out coming to the offensive glass? Are we going to do all of those things? And right now, I would say sometimes would be the answer. Sometimes. I've seen it in us. I know it's in there. I know the capability is there. I know they've got it within them. But it's hard to win, and it's hard to win every night, and you got to fight. You got to fight, and we're not fighting hard enough, and we don't have enough defensive pride. I think our guys look at the stat sheet and beat themselves up when they have a bad shooting night or something like that. And I'm not sure that the bad defensive nights affect them the same way. That's got to change.
All right, thank you, Coach. Appreciate
Okay,
that.
thanks.